start by saying congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
I've seen the first 5. I was really pissed that that's where it ended, and I'm ready for episode 6.
Great.
So what's this experience been like for you? Because you hope the show is going to be well received,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard anyone say a bad word. Like, everyone's really digging it.
Yeah, so far, I mean, that's just the last 24 hours. So I'm kind of just hearing the rumors really, rather than having any confirmation yet. But
I'm telling you, it's
yeah,
good reaction.
I've heard it's a good reaction. I mean, look, I can't say it's I'm not overjoyed to hear that that's the case. I mean, I care greatly about the show and greatly about the character now, and I've come to realize how important he is and these characters are to so many people. So I was cautiously optimistic that what we had was a product that was very, very interesting and new, and the next evolutionary step in maybe the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But
You've gotten used to the MCU, huh?
Yeah. But I wasn't sure. But you never know. You never know. And so I'm if people are liking it as much as they seem to, I'm absolutely thrilled.
What was the first thing you bought yourself when you got cast? Was there a gift you said, "Oh yeah, it's time to finally buy this guitar"?
God, I don't know that there was. I mean, I got cast and I had so little time, and I was so overexcited and just raring to go. I think it was even a plane ticket. I didn't wait for them to buy me the plane ticket. I bought myself one to get out to New York and start work.
So when you got cast, how much time did you have?
About a month before we started shooting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that sounds like a lot of time, but
no, I know that's not a lot of time.
A lot of the work I had to do was put on a lot of muscle, obviously, and so because I'm not built like a typical superhero, so and a month is not a lot of time for that.
That's funny. So were you attempting to hit the gym? Were you hitting the gym during the shoot, or was there just no time?
Yeah, 9 months.
That's
nonstop.
Bananas.
Yeah.
So when did you actually wrap?
December 10th. 20th, December 20th, 5 days before.
So it's only been a little bit of time.
Yeah. And I'm trying to maintain something so that if we are, touch wood, lucky enough to do a second season, that I won't have to start from scratch all over again.
I was talking to Steven before, and that's the big question I have. I always figured it was going to go Daredevil, Jessica Jones, like they had like their plan, and then it would end with Defenders.
Yeah.
I never even considered, wait a minute, they could do a second season before Defenders.
Oh yeah, they absolutely could. I mean, it's certainly possible, because they could, there's no reason why they couldn't do 2 shows at the same time. Because in these first 4, the characters are relatively autonomous, I mean, Jessica Jones does not appear in Daredevil, for example. And so, although I know that Luke Cage does appear in the Jessica Jones show.
Yeah.
But there's no reason per se why we can't do 2 at the same time. We couldn't do the Luke Cage show and Daredevil 2 at the same time. It's possible.
Is it a fun question to answer, or is it sort of like you can't believe how much you've been asked about how many times the possibility of Daredevil appearing in a movie?
Yeah.
Because they just started filming Civil War.
Yeah.
They're going to be filming the 2-part Avengers. There's from what I understand, part 1 of Avengers is going to be very much not featuring the main characters because of contract things, that they'll be in part 2.
Right.
So
I've heard nothing.
Okay.
I would love nothing more than to be included in that group, but I've heard nothing, and I would hate to presume.
Because one of the things, I grew up with the comics, and one of the things I loved was the Spider-Man, Daredevil, like when those New York superheroes got to talk.
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
And now it seems like that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So,
that's exciting, right?
Right. So
I love that. There's one episode where Matt Murdock has to defend Daredevil, and Peter Parker puts on the suit for him so he can do it.
How much have you been paying attention to like what fandom is saying and all these things that are bubbling up with Marvel doing Spider-Man, and now it's a thing that can be done together, and
Yeah, I don't tend to read too much of that stuff, but just because I don't want to, I don't find it necessarily very healthy to read too many opinions about oneself. I think it's nice to have a sense, but at the same time, you want to kind of like once we started filming the show, I wanted to stick to the path that I believed was the right one, and I was being encouraged to take by the creatives on the show. So I didn't want to read too much about what other people think, because I think there is the danger that you'll then try and please everyone, and I don't think that's the right thing to do.
One of the things I really enjoyed about the first 5 episodes are the long dialogue scenes, where it doesn't feel rushed. You don't feel like you got to hit something before the commercial break.
Yeah.
You're having actual conversations.
Yeah.
And it feels like the show's breathing.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
But very, very smart writing, and I think that's not just the dialogue itself, but the as you say, the structure of those scenes, because they also complement the quick, fast-paced action sequences really, really well. I mean, they're like a welcome break, and then when you then go back into an action sequence, it kind of it picks up the pace again, and it puts you back on your toes and stuff. That's what real life's like. I think conversations aren't had and resolved in half a page. They take a great deal more time, and all credit to Stephen DeKnight and the writing team for that.
I am a very big fan of the cast they put together.
Yeah.
I think the cast is really excellent, and everyone feels like they're the real. It just feels really good.
Right.
Talk a little bit about obviously in the first 5 episodes, without getting into spoilers. There's nothing. Wilson Fisk is appearing, but there's nothing really between Wilson and Daredevil. The mystery is being figured out. What was it like? Look, we all know at some point you are going to meet up with Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, and this is a no-brainer. So, what was it like when you finally got to do that? Was it talk about working with Vincent, because he's really good at it.
Yeah. So again, I don't want to give too much away, but the first communication that we have is not the first communication that Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk have is not what you might imagine. It's a beautifully written scene, and it's a very exciting moment, which when I read on the page, I literally read it and went, oh, wicked. So that's very, very cool. But then, when we do eventually meet,
there's no way you guys don't fight in this show. Right. It's literally like it's impossible because listen, I'm a comic book fan. Yeah. This isn't spoiling anything. This is an absolute.
So working with Vincent is he's a wonderful man and a great professional, a wonderful actor. But he's also he's a big guy. He's an intimidating guy, and so it was very easy for me to feel all the necessary feelings when faced with Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk.
Well, the thing I also really loved is the portrayal of Wilson Fisk in the show. He's not just some bad guy. He's complicated.
Yeah.
He loves art.
Yeah.
He has issues, but he feels like he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Very well written.
Yeah. I think that's more realistic. If Rosario was saying this earlier on, I think if evil was always sat in the corner twisting its moustache, it would be very easy to identify, and we wouldn't have a problem getting it out of ridding it from our planet. But I think evil doesn't always operate that way. It's often masked with good deeds and seemingly noble. Seemingly, high moral ground, and Vincent does a wonderful job of finding that balance, I think.
I forgot to ask Steven this, and he's over there right now. But what did you possibly take away? What did you borrow from the set and keep? Possibly anything, because I know you wouldn't purposely take anything home.
Yeah.
What did you hypothetically borrow?
Yeah, I know that, Stephen, you have a poster, don't you?
Hold on, I'm just going to pan over real fast. Stephen, what did you take?
I got to tell you, I love having props and stuff from shows. Try to get one out of a Marvel set. Good luck.
I can categorically guarantee I took absolutely nothing.
Me neither.
But that's I'm partly hoping because I'll need to use it again at some point.
Of course, absolutely. Again, quoting Stephen, I know there's a lot of Easter eggs for the fans in the show. How much were you able to see, like, when there was something in the background where you're like, wait a minute, is that an Easter egg? Or
yeah.
Are you?
So that was kind of fun, actually, because when I got, I said when I got the job, I hadn't read very many comics before. I didn't grow up in comics, and as soon as I was cast, I started immersing myself, and so as the show went on, I was identifying more and more Easter eggs as as the episodes came and went, and so that was enjoyable. There's a nice there's an episode, a scene in episode I think 10 where I walked on the set and I was like, cool, I get it, I see this, and So yeah, and there are a few. You know, I think the fans will be pleased. There'll be reason to rewatch, certainly.
Yeah, I'm very much. That's something we're going to try to put together. But anyway, I'm very curious about the actual production of the show and what's it like because you're in a lot of scenes. Mm-hmm. What was it like maintaining that energy for the many months of filming, and also, you know what I mean? Just talk as an actor, the challenges and what you did.
Yeah, I mean, it was challenging because obviously, it's a role that requires a lot of physicality as well, and that and so it was draining, not just emotionally but also physically, and it's very hard to complain about that kind of thing as an actor. You spend so much time unemployed, or certainly I have in the past. That when you get a job that requires you to work every day, it seems kind of hypocritical to be like, God, I'm working so much. You know what I mean? So I didn't really bother me. I kind of loved it. I relished the opportunity to be in a show where I was needed that much, and very grateful for the job. And I got very tired, and picked up slight injuries here and there, and worked my way through them, and carried on, and kept going to the gym, and just loved every minute of it, really.
You mentioned that, and I know I'm just about out of time. You mentioned that you read a lot of the comics once you got cast.
Yeah.
I'm very curious if there were some storylines that were not included in this season that you're like, oh my God, if we get a season 2 or season 3, we have to do this.
I mean, storylines and characters as well. There's I don't want to say which ones, but there was certainly there was a lot of there's lots of moments or even series from over the years of the Daredevil has run as a comic that I loved and would love to see incorporated in some way. But we did, there was also lots that we did manage to get in there. The opening scene from the trailer and from the opening, the first time you see me in the show is a confessional scene, and one of the first comic books I read was Joe Quesada's Guardian Devil, which opens the same way with Matt Murdock in a confessional, so it was fun. It was fun to find those moments and to recognize them from the comics. Similarly in episode 3 we have a courtroom scene, which for me is very reminiscent of the I think the 32nd issue with Matt Murdock defending the White Tiger, it's a whole issue dedicated to that one courtroom scene, when I'd read that and really enjoyed it, and when I read the 3rd episode, so I was able to then take that, go back to the comic and look at the panels and see how Matt was standing, and see pick up like bits of helpful information that I could then use when doing the scene.
I'm going to end it there and say, sir, congratulations on the show.
Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to watch the next 8.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
I'm pretty confident.